From every part of the world, university students and young adults come to units of the Lisle Fellowship. Lisle was founded in 1936 by the Baldwins, who are more affectionately known as Uncle Si and Aunt Edna. They visualized a new concept in intercultural education through which young people from every corner of the world would be encouraged to live with and learn about people of different cultures. It was a coeducational, international unit with diversity in cultural, racial, religious, and economic backgrounds. Young people from every course of study and all vocations come to these groups. Those from the fields of art, medicine, the sciences, engineering, and teaching all bring the viewpoints and questions of their own interests. These students from every imaginable background form the miniature world community represented in any Lisle unit. Through community contacts, they learn to work toward an understanding of all peoples, for Lisle provides opportunities rarely obtainable in ordinary life in any comparable period. Months of preparation go into the making of a Lisle unit. Here a member of Lisle and Uncle Si direct newcomers to their living quarters. Early arrivals warmly welcome the next who come. Sometimes Lisle's home is a big residence like the Doak Mansion in St. Helena, California, which will house a group of 30 to 40. Often is a Rocky Mountain camp, as in Colorado, where we live as campers. The beauties of the Colorado mountains form a setting of natural delight. Camp Lookout, high in the Rockies, as it appears to the students arriving in a car, is a welcome sight. Folks run out of the dining hall and nearby tents to extend this welcome. Students never forget the beauty of the pines, the large attractive lodge, and especially the friends who unload their bags, show them to a tent, and provide the first directions about camp. No one remains a stranger for long. Each finds a way to take hold, like helping to set up cots, or splitting wood for stoking a hot water heater, or getting the first meal and washing the dishes. They learn to know each other by working together. They even give one another haircuts. The art of getting acquainted with others and learning to understand people is vital to successful living anywhere. Such simple pleasures as arranging flowers or sharing a cup of tea help in getting acquainted. Waking up is sometimes difficult, but is made easier by singing them up in the morning. Why do you linger so long in bed? Open your big glass and show your head. A cooperative living plan soon becomes essential. Cooking is done in teams of 4 or 5, often taking on an international flavor when students from around the world try out their favorite recipes. Working on the community wash points up different customs and often new ways of doing things. Modern equipment for doing these household chores is not always available, but when it is, it sometimes proves intriguing. Each Lisle group works out its own plans democratically. No rules are laid down, no arbitrary decisions made. Wood cutting, when combined with good fellowship, can be lots of fun. Folk dancing and games of peoples around the world reveal many cultural characteristics. Students have many opportunities to teach their own folk games while out on field trips, called deputations, in the communities. Orientation Week is a period of adjustment in which the students learn to lead games and share their know-how with others, as well as just having fun themselves. Few games can better illustrate the value of cooperative team play than volleyball. Learning the rules of the game is a prerequisite to teaching it on a neighborhood or settlement house playground. The California unit soon learned that much emphasis is given to correct swimming and life-saving techniques in that state. Hence, it is important for some members to know how to direct swimming. As part of the orientation period, local authorities on sociology, economics, psychology, and related fields come to a unit to lecture and lead discussions. This helps members to understand the attitudes and prevailing cultural patterns and conflicts of people in the area. They build sensitivity toward local situations where they, as teams, will soon participate in community life. We all learn from others at some point, whether from the United States, Denmark, or Japan. In Lisle, each is a learner and a teacher. At the close of each day, the group comes to a sense of togetherness as they link hands in a fellowship circle. They feel a united relationship with all nationalities the world over. The last 3 days of Orientation Week are focused on the coming deputations to surrounding communities. The staff, often known as the home team, spend long hours in selecting the members of these teams, synchronizing the leadership needs of the community with the training, skills, background, and attitudes of the team members. A deputation consists of 4 to 6 persons, and it is an exciting moment when team assignments are read. The name of the community is read first, and a statement of sponsorship and program given. As soon as the team members are named, they immediately go and sit together. Note the signs of eagerness they show, and once they know where and with whom they are going to spend the next 4 days. Since there is no appointed leader for each deputation, it is important that each member of the newly appointed group hear the information about the community to which he is going, and knows what the sponsoring group in the community has planned and wishes to accomplish by having the team. Team orientation is often provided by the setup man who, for 6 weeks, has been making contacts for the deputations. He shares with the new team members his knowledge of the area and the program arranged for the coming deputation. Last-minute preparations must be made for a vacation Bible school, for expected work in a settlement house or community center, for talks to service clubs, or day camp recreation for migrant children. Everyone is anxious to be at his best when meeting the sponsoring groups, so there are personal things to attend to. the inevitable washing, ironing, packing, writing letters home, or delving for information in some reference book. Expectation runs high, and the excitement of the coming deputations puts everyone in a joyous mood. Everyone in camp comes out to say goodbye in the form of a farewell circle just before the first team steps into the sponsor's car, which will carry them to the community in which they will live and work for the next 4 days. Lisle members are picked up by their community sponsors anytime from dawn until noon that first day. And a new part of the Lisle experience is ready to unfold as sponsors and Lislers meet for the first time. During the trip to the chosen community, often 50 to 200 miles away, sponsors and team members have an opportunity to exchange ideas and make plans. The Blue Rock Springs team at Vallejo meets to discuss plans with the day camp staff. After the children have arrived and the flag-raising ceremony is over, the team members lead the children in games and group singing. Some of the older children decide on a hike, and they start upward toward the peaks behind the camp. Nature study and arts and crafts absorb the attention of many. With preparation for the evening meal, the day has slipped by. The familiar cry, "Come and get it," means replenished stomachs and spirits. Each member of the Lisle team participates in the evening festivities. Sharing is a large part of the Lisle training and experience, and Lislers from all over the world communicate their team spirit to these youngsters. Tired but satisfied youngsters depart for home by school bus, and thus each day passes for this deputation. Many Lislers are interested in delinquency and youth questions. A team made up of these students visits the San Francisco Youth Guidance Center. They soon become acquainted with Judge Shapiro, who explains the procedures of the center. Personal contacts and direct experiences in the way a great city handles its work with youth is very valuable. It brings to life the theoretical knowledge gained from books and lectures. The team has an opportunity to sit in with the board and to observe an actual hearing. Another team has an unforgettable experience at the Booker T. Washington Community Center in San Francisco. They did routine work with the staff and had an opportunity to help a group plan for a center dance. While helping to prepare a meal in the home of the director, team members come to know him better and to appreciate his philosophy of life and his work. Each deputation team has the rich experience of being guests in typical homes in the community they visit. A team spent 4 memorable days in this unusual Denver home. The 2 girls, one from southern Mississippi and the other from Wisconsin, were experiencing their first visit in the home of another race, that of Dr. and Mrs. Holmes. To become a part of the family, to find that their family life was just like her own in so many respects, was a startling realization to our Mississippi team member. A setup team visits a ranch on the Navajo Indian Reservation to plan a deputation for this area. They inspect the ruins of an ancient Navajo village within 100 yards of the ranch house. Just as Lisle is concerned with cultures in all other parts of the world, by the same token, it is interested in interpreting the various cultures found within the United States. At Window Rock, New Mexico, the capital of the Navajo tribes, stands the beautiful brown sandstone legislative building. The Navajo culture has existed on the North American continent for the past 1,000 years. While mud hogans, primitive transportation facilities, and underdeveloped lands still exist, there is also a cultural richness retained by the Navajos that can be appreciated by all of us. Priceless murals on the interior walls of the Legislative Hall depict the heritage of the Navajo. As guests of a Navajo Indian official and his Hopi wife, we learn many new things about the customs of these 2 tribes. The beauty of the night on the reservation offered an opportunity too attractive to miss, so we unpacked our bedrolls and stayed a while. A typical Navajo occupation is the roundup of sheep and goats, as on the ranch of Sam Akia, chief of the Navajo tribes. One of the chief's sons was captivated by a model plane. He watched anxiously with his sisters and cousins as Richie, son of our photographer, fueled up and flew the plane over their alfalfa field. We stopped to visit a Navajo summer home, a mud hogan, and in another place, watched cornbread baking in an outdoor oven. The team leaving for Walsenburg, Colorado, little realize the rich variety of experiences they will have during the next 4 days. There is a flurry of excitement as the car is loaded and members gather for the farewell circle to the singing of Viva la Compagnie. Jack as usual, was late in arriving. The circle is a solemn and happy occasion for all as they look ahead to the many new adventures those next few days will bring. Lislers are always considerate of others, so Jack, who had missed his breakfast, was supplied with Danish pancakes before stepping into the car that will carry him and his companions to this new experience in community living. At their weekly luncheon, members of the Walsenburg Rotary Club listened to students from abroad telling something of their homes, customs, and feelings about the American way of life. American students, on the other hand, tell something of the history of Lisle and what they are finding in these weeks together. In the question period afterward, the importance of maintaining and enlarging our present program of student exchange becomes real to both team and club members. A local pilot takes them up for an aerial view of the community and the surrounding countryside. Walsenburg is a mining and agricultural community of about 5,000. The trip aloft gives them an appreciation of the extent of the town, the mountainous area, and the spacious plateau terrain with its flourishing ranches. Morning Glory Mine revealed its secrets to members of the team. No one can really share the feelings of a miner until he descends into the closing darkness and rises to the surface again to enjoy the sunlight once more. Even the mayor came along for this ride. This is how the people of Walsenburg, through the years, earned their living when coal was king. Anything can happen on a deputation, including a little babysitting. As guests in the homes of the people, the team members are sometimes feted, at other times experience the scarcity of essentials. Hospitality at Walsenburg meant that teams were invited into many different kinds of homes for meals. This meal was enjoyed in the home of the district attorney. And as the meal progresses, the entire group joins in a lively discussion of community problems. What better way to become acquainted with the health needs of a community than to accompany a county public health nurse on her daily home calls? To reach all parts of the community, the team visited a ranch 11 miles from the Walsenburg to meet some of the Spanish-American residents. Lunch includes all the Spanish delicacies. Frioles and tortillas are enjoyed for the first time by some members of the group. Our host and his son entertain the group with Spanish songs accompanied on the steel guitar. A ride on Old Dobbin proved quite a challenge to some of the team. And when hasn't a gun been intriguing? For a better understanding of civic affairs, team members visit the newspaper office. There they see the linotype in operation, the intricate process of setting type, and finally the rolling presses and the newspapers coming off. In communities having those facilities, Lisle teams frequently participate in radio and television programs. And, like this team, they often make the headlines. On another day, the boys became better acquainted with Walsenburg while traveling with a local trucking firm. For the Easterner, entirely new experiences are offered by riding in a Jeep to check fences and oversee cattle on the range. As one of their contributions to the community church, 3 members of the team, with a local sponsor, paint the washroom of the church. But all too soon, the days of exchanging ideas and new insights for both sponsor and team come to a close. But the team finds a welcome at Lookout Mountain that soon absorbs them back into home living again. Home periods can mean glorious times. After the royal welcome back home, excitement continues in the dining room over seeing one another again. The sense of belonging and security within this group provides a meaningful relationship rarely found in life. Later that evening, before the great fireplace in the lodge, amid crackling logs they themselves have sawed, Lislers swap yarns and bring their new worlds into focus. Those who like to sing gather around the piano. Later, everyone joins in the square dancing and folk games. Putting on paper one's personal reactions to the deputation from which he has just returned is an important part of the Lisle sequence. Following this, each team discusses in detail their recent experiences on deputation. From individual reports, they compile a team report and discuss ways and means of presenting it to the entire Lisle unit. Many exciting discussions occur as members from different cultures exchange ideas about a particular situation. During the 6th week come final days of evaluating the total experience. They keep in mind how values learned here can find practical application back home, on the campus, on the job, or in family relationships. Silent meditation in the afterglow of a setting sun or in the refreshing breeze on a mountaintop is a soul-satisfying experience. In Colorado, services are held in the Temple in the Pines. Through the expression of religion, members of the various faiths share their religious heritages. Song fests at a blazing campfire in the Rockies bring the gang together. All Lislers know the anticipation of a free day. In Colorado, the climb to Arapahoe Glacier has become a tradition. Those who do reach the summit are rewarded by a breathtaking view of jagged purple mountains stretching in all directions. As the unit draws to a close, all those who have sponsored or served as hosts to Lisle teams and those in the various communities who have shared in their activities are invited to the traditional community potluck supper held at the home center. It represents the renewing of friendships made earlier in the unit and serves as the unit's thank you and farewell party at the same time. The circle of 6 weeks truly stretches into a circle around the world. And so this is Lisle, an